Hiya, good morning. Welcome to my Compound Life. As of time of recording, it is 8 o'clock in the morning. It is the 25th of December. So Merry Christmas to you all. Such a great morning to record a Bitcoin daily video, I guess. So if you haven't been with us before, this is a channel where we build assets, we build habits. It has to be great habits that we can go and manage all of our assets. And of course, we build freedom. That should really be financial and time freedom for you and I, and for the rest of people that watches this channel. So thanks for watching the Christmas episode. It's good to see you and you and you and you and you and a lot of you. If you haven't already done so, please hit subscribe, hit the like. Even if you don't like the content, just hit the like anyway. I'm such a small content creator, so I really need the algorithm to recognize me. And more importantly, for you guys to follow me so that I can become a better person. I can generate better content. Okay, so a lot of the subscribers, thanks for leaving me comments. Really helps me to continue on this journey. And I kind of thought, you know what, the fact that we are going through a bear market pretty soon, I want to stay with all of you throughout the bear market, right? I know that Bitcoin, crypto, no one really watches this content during bear market, but certainly I've been through multiple bull and bear cycles, and I just thought I want to be with all of you. Yeah, so hit like, hit subscribe, follow, leave a comment, let me know who you are so that we become closer, we become friends. Okay, let me switch that off. Okay, so Bitcoin now is trading at around 87,700. So not too good, not too bad either. Quick look at the fear and greed index. We are at around 24 today. Yesterday was around 25. So essentially we're just retracing between 87 to 88,000 for the past 24 hours. We did try to break, I think 88, but not much luck. Anyway, let's take a quick look in terms of Bitcoin ETF. Bitcoin ETF on the 24th of December, that was yesterday's data. I think it was only half day worth of trading. Yesterday alone was bearish for Bitcoin ETF. It was around 175 million worth of outflow. So giving us the week for the last week of December, overall weekly, it was an outflow of 500 million. Okay, so bearish this week. It was bearish last week at around 497 million too. In terms of Ethereum, ETH, ETF, yesterday was also bearish, 52.8 million worth of outflow. So resulting Ethereum overall performance for this week alone, with only 2.5 days, 3 days worth of ETH inflow outflow data. Ethereum this week gave us outflow of $63 million. Okay, comparison to last week, it was around $643 million. Okay, so in comparison to last week, I think it was good enough. I guess whomever needs to sell off for tax purposes, for rebalancing or whatever, they must have done so last week, right? So this week, limited trading day, etc. So that's why very, very limited price action, as well as inflows and outflows. Quick look into Solana. Sol ETF, as of 24th of December, yesterday's data, it was an inflow again for Solana at $1.5 million. So bringing Solana total week worth of inflow to be about $13 8.14 million US dollars. So in comparison to the peak of last week, maybe people were rebalancing or rotating from Bitcoin or Ethereum into SOL. I don't know. In terms of last week's Solana inflow, it was a total of 66 million in comparison to this week of 13.14 million. Okay, so that kind of gives you a sense of what's going on. In terms of price action for Bitcoin, okay, so right now Bitcoin is trading at around 87,800. So 87,800 to about 87,200 earlier, I think. So in the past 24 hours, it went down a small percentage, 1 to 2%, starting from about 88,800 maybe, hitting a high near 88,500 and a low of 87,000. So the market feels very quiet because it's Christmas. It was Christmas Eve yesterday and it's Christmas today. And I bet you, many of you probably just sick of looking at the Bitcoin chart. There's nothing to look at, to be completely honest. As long as there's no big fluctuation, I would call it hope. Okay, I would definitely think of this as a time of hope, that 2026 would bring us better return. Okay, because Bitcoin has performed terribly this year, down by more than 30%. Should have invested in something else. But anyway, this is a Bitcoin channel, so we always talk about Bitcoin. Implication, I think not much implication, for now. I think we essentially just retracing side chops for a longer period of time, at least until 2026. And let's hope all of your lunch and dinner conversation today during Christmas time will be about investment and Bitcoin, and probably that would bump up the Bitcoin price a little bit after your lunch and your lunch and dinner, Christmas lunch and dinner. Okay, so a little bit more news that will impact Bitcoin price. Gold high again. I know, another day of all-time high, 4,500. I think yesterday I was covering this again. It was 4,450. Interesting how gold really shot up. They were up about 71% this year, so added about $13 trillion worth of market value into gold alone, right? So where's that talk about Bitcoin stealing gold's market share, right? Where the hell are all of you Bitcoiners or Bitcoin maxis that's meant to be buying Bitcoin, right? Are you all, pack up for Christmas, or are you still constantly stacking? So drop a like, leave a comment, let me know who you are. Let me know who are still stacking Bitcoin right now, okay? Gold is, of course, safe money people buy when worried about the economy or money value drops, right? So this is why people are continue to be worried about the economy. So that's why gold is definitely improving. So of course, gold do very, very well while Bitcoin is down. Unfortunately, people still believe that Bitcoin is not exactly a store of value. Okay, they still think it's a growth asset. So unfortunately, this is what it looks like. So compare make Bitcoin look weak, but past show money can move from gold to Bitcoin later when retails feels good, right? Retail feels risk on. So for the time being, we just have to suck it in that Bitcoin's not really performing. Just suck it in for now, right? Just hodl, suck it in. Don't panic sell for sure, and don't panic sell and rotate into gold. Definitely, that would be a dumb move, right? Because gold's already peaked, and for it to peak again, it probably will take another few more years. So you have more downside for gold versus more upside. Whereas on Bitcoin, we're kind of in the middle zone. I can't say we have more upside or more downside. We are simply just retracing, and we're kind of in the middle zone. It's very difficult to say whether we've got more upside or downside risk. Okay, another thing to cover for big news that will impact Bitcoin price: S&P 500. I know I mock about S&P 500 a lot in my channel, but S&P 500 definitely hit all-time high. So all the time when I mock about S&P 500, I just always talk about the return that the stability return that S&P 500 would gives you. That would be about 10% per annum. Unfortunately, they're outperforming again, and of course, kicking Bitcoin ass, because Bitcoin never quite returned anything for us this year, but it doesn't matter. We're in it for the long term. We're in it to hodl for the much longer period of time. So do not be a weekend that go out and sell Bitcoin right now and rotating that into S&P 500. So US stocks market S&P 500 hit $6,932, highest weekly close ever. Well, good for S&P 500. Yes, I also hold some S&P 500. I'll just let it compound in there. Okay, up 43% from April low. Okay, so S&P 500 definitely stole away some of Bitcoin's market share. Okay, background: S&P 500 is a big list of top US companies, the top 500 actually, and the fact that it's going up, it's showing the economy is getting stronger in the US. And why it matters: stocks do great, Bitcoin tends to follow, right? So like something hold, but for now, Bitcoin is not following for obvious reason. It does seem something is holding back Bitcoin. I think overall, with the data that's coming out from the US Fed, and with something like the S&P 500 that people pays a lot of attention to, getting stronger essentially means the economy is good, economy is booming in the US, and people are a lot more willing to take risks, and hopefully Bitcoin should see rally next. Okay, but for now I think it's separate. So hope for the best for 2026 for Bitcoin. And of course, I did cover something about global money supply. So watch my yesterday's video if you haven't already done so. M2 global money supply are definitely going up, shooting up. And it's just a matter of time that it gets into Bitcoin and other assets too. Other interesting news, I think, let me check. Vanguard are buying $10 trillion. Vanguard now own 3.2 billion worth of MicroStrategy MSTR, which hold lots of Bitcoin. Okay, so good to see Vanguards are also buying. So any of you that doesn't really know Vanguard, Vanguard is a huge investment asset management company that manage money for many people. So it really does showcase how traditional money buy indirect Bitcoin nowadays, as opposed to they go into exchanges like us. And of course, I think it's good because we're onboarding more money from the traditional system onto Bitcoin. But I don't foresee this to to have too much of a impact on Bitcoin price right now, because there's always the delay of buying, and then Vanguard go in to buy more Bitcoin. So I kind of see, yes, we're onboarding more money, more traditional money into Bitcoin, but definitely it does take time for more of such adoption, etc. I've covered yesterday about Bitcoin RSI, and I just want to quickly reiterate, call this hopium just before 2026, or simply, just to make all of us feel better towards the closing of 2025, when there's simply no hopium at all for Bitcoin. So for the last 5 times, Bitcoin RSI is low, resulted, Bitcoin up by many percent, right? So for the last 5 times, it's up by about 100%. So maybe you might think, if 100%, maybe it would bring us to 150K, 170K. That would be good. That would be good. That would be a good thoughts. But I'm also happy with just a dead cat bounce that can bring us back to 110K. So I can get rid of my Bitcoin swing bag, tiny little bag. That would be nice too. So we'll see how it goes. So RSI, a reminder, is a chart tool that shows if Bitcoin is cheap or expensive. And for now, it does seem Bitcoin is very cheap. And hopefully there'll be more people thinking that it will be cheap and they'll come in and buy more. Okay, so hopeful for a huge gain ahead. Another news to cover, Eric Trump. So Eric Trump says Bitcoin is digital gold, better than real estate, yada. Yeah, he always talk about this kind of stuff. So I think someone credible like Eric to talk about this is always bullish for Bitcoin, because Donald Trump and his family are very pro Bitcoin. But of course, in a way, I think that they also can definitely see Bitcoin being such an important asset to protect their wealth because of the erosion, the erosion of the US dollars, the erosion of the Great British Pounds, the erosion of the currency that you hold right now, right? So take, for instance, US dollars lost 90% buying power since 1971. The dollar value drops over time from, print more, right? Every time the nations print more, every time Jerome Powell, the Fed, does another quantitative easing, essentially, the buying power of your money erodes away. So this is why a lot more people are switching into Bitcoin to protect their wealth, protect their dollars worth, and hopefully in the long run, it will make Bitcoin stronger. So bear that in mind. Make sure, you continue to have your HODL bag for Bitcoin as well as your swing bag. HODL bag will be something like you're trying to, essentially would be a debasement, currency debasement trade that you're trying to protect. And of course, your swing bag is whenever it goes higher, you sell, and whenever it dumps, you buy more. Certainly, you contribute some of your swing bag into your HODL bag every now and then, so that you can HODL more in a way and get greater values from your dollars in the future. All right. So give yourself a cycle, you definitely see the return. Another news, Schwab's. So Schwab's trading, $11 trillion Schwab's launch spot Bitcoin crypto trading for 46 million of their clients. So Schwab is a big bank for investment, and it really does matter because it makes it so much easier to onboard more people into Bitcoin. And I kind of do believe that once this readily become available for many people, it really does show huge demand coming forward for Bitcoin. So short term and longer term, definitely bullish for Bitcoin. So take note of that. Apart from that, nothing much to highlight for this specific Bitcoin daily episode. Past 24 hours, it does seem very, very, very quiet for Bitcoin. We definitely side chopping around 87 to 88,000, but hoping for an upside, but it does seem more downside movements for Bitcoin. So do watch out, because this will be, when the market is really, really low in liquidity, that's when market makers will try to take down the longs and shorts for leverage. So be careful. Holiday definitely slow, but gold and stocks, if you hold gold and stocks, you must be happy, right? Because I'm happy too. Anyway, gold, stock, well, I don't hold any gold, but at least stocks, S&P 500, growth stocks, they make me smile instead of looking at my Bitcoin chart. Okay. So let me know in the comment section who still thinks there's a Christmas rally coming, right? So we've got a few more days after Christmas trading days, and perhaps we might see a rally, right? So drop me a comment, let me know who you are, and hit the like, hit subscribe. I'm really low in my subscriber counts, and it would be such a great Christmas present you can give me if you can just hit subscribe right now. And Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas to you, your family. Hope we're not all beaten up by Bitcoin too much. We will definitely improve. Things will definitely improve. Bitcoin will rally again. It always does. That's what I've seen in multiple cycles before. And yeah, be hopeful and lots of love. And yeah, go outside, meet friends, meet family, have plenty of booze, and stop looking at the charts. Yeah, it's just there. Okay, so Merry Christmas to you and your family. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.